So here it is, Lattafa's Teriaq Intense. Now this is a fragrance I've been hearing a lot about. Had a couple buddies on here that were also looking for it, heard some really good things about it. Apparently it is perfumed by Quentin Bisch. Now, if you're into fragrance and you haven't heard of him, you should probably Google him. He's responsible for a lot of fantastic fragrances, including majority of the JPG, La Male, and Le Beau line. Now this has been hard for me to get my hands on. I used to see it all the time at Burlington until I started looking for it, and then it just magically disappeared. But I found it a couple days ago, so we're gonna bust it open, give it a sniff, see what we think. So away we go. So Lattafa always does pretty good with the presentation, and they didn't skimp on this either. Even a little bit nicer than their average. So nice heavy bottle, kind of a cool cap. Decent atomizer. Let's get a whiff. So very, very sweet, like a caramely sweet. You know, maybe it's just my brain connecting the dots, but something super familiar about this. So this is perfumed by Quentin Bisch, who also did JPG La Male Elixir, and to me, that's all I smell right now is like that heavy sweetness of La Male Elixir. So we're gonna have to pause. I'm gonna go get my son's bottle of JPG La Male Elixir. We'll come back, do side by side, and see if that's just my brain doing this to me or if they're really alike. I don't know why you would schmoop your own fragrance, but we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I grabbed my son's bottle of JPG La Male Elixir, and I went ahead and grabbed Lattafa's The Kingdom, which is supposedly their schmoop of this one right here. So we're gonna smell all three of these together and kind of see what's going on. So here we have the Teriaq Intense, caramely sweet, JPG, and then Lattafa's The Kingdom. Okay, so the Kingdom and the JPG are super familiar. You can tell what they were trying to do with the Kingdom fragrance. Now, the Teriaq Intense is also really similar. Like, it's related, maybe 50 to 60% similar, but there's something else going on in there that I can't quite place. Like almost the waxiness to it, like a scented candle or like a lipsticky type of a vibe. Something it's very similar to JPG La Male Elixir, but there's also something in there that I just can't place. This is gonna drive me crazy. So my apologies. We're gonna have to break again. I gotta go do a little homework, see if we can figure this out, come back, close this out. I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of this video. All right, 1 minute. All right, my apologies. I'm back, but I think I finally figured it out. So I looked at the notes for the Teriaq Intense, which I'll place up there, and it has this plum liquor note. And I'm a pretty big fan of a plum note. I'm not sure about plum liquor, but I think that's what's throwing me off just a little bit. So I looked through some of my other fragrances and thought, well, what else has a plum note that's kind of similar to this? And I think I found it. And it is another Lattafa Vintage Radio, which is one of my favorite Lattafas. It's got that kind of sticky, waxy plum note in it that's very, very similar to what we have going on in here. Now, I don't really like to make comparisons, but that's the only way for me to relate to you, the viewer, of what this smells like without you having it in your hand. So to me, Teriaq Intense smells like a pretty decent blend of Vintage Radio, or Initio's Paragon, with La Male Elixir, or Lattafa's The Kingdom. So if you like either one of those fragrances, then Teriaq Intense would probably be something you'd really enjoy. Now, a little disclaimer about Lattafa. I've owned and do still own a handful of these fragrances, and a lot of times initially I don't care for them a whole lot, but after I spray them 5 or 10 times and they sit for a few days or weeks or even months and I come back to them, they are 10 times better. Now, I don't know if they need to mature or macerate or both, but right now, this is good, but not great, like a 7.25. I'm wondering if I come back to it in a week or 2 or 3, if it's going to be more like an 8 to an 8.5, because I could see how this could turn into a really nice fall fragrance, especially for younger guys that like a little bit of a sweeter hint to their fragrances. Overall, not bad. So Lattafa's Teriaq Intense, about a 7.25 out of 10. It runs about $40 or so, and I think in that price range, yeah, it's worth it. Now, it's all over the TikTok shop. I added it to my showcase, but this isn't one of those shoppable videos. Don't feel like you ever have to buy through me. In fact, if I were you, you could just go to my supplier, houseofphoenixperfume.com. Use the code Fougere10, which I don't get any kickback from. Get 10% off. So if you're looking for something kind of sweet, a little bit of a head turner, compliment getter for the upcoming cooler weather, Lattafa's Teriaq Intense may be a decent one. Good, but not great. I enjoy it, but definitely not blown away. So let me know if you tried it. Until next time, save money, smell better.